Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for August 15th, 2013. It's currently 8:50 a.m. and temperatures are rather chilly out there for this time of year. Granted, it's actually nice out. It's refreshing. I guess that's the best way to put it. With temperatures as of 9 a.m. or to 9 a.m. OBS ranging from the mid to upper 50s over the northern interior and lower to mid 60s along the coast. I could attest to you that at 5 a.m., temperatures range from the mid to upper 40s over the northern interior and lower to mid 50s along the coast, which is well below normal for this time of year, and in some cases potentially may have broken some records. I haven't gotten any verification of that yet, but I would not be surprised if some locations in some of our northern valleys, like in northwest New Jersey, fell into the lower 40s. It was that chilly out, and the reason why is because we had clear skies, light winds, perfect conditions for radiational cooling, and so temperatures crashed under the influence of very low humidity in the atmosphere. And basically, the dew points you're seeing here in the mid 40s and lower 50s are pretty close to where we saw our temperatures this morning, basically in the mid to upper 40s. You can see over the northern interior, and upper 40s to lower 50s along the coast. Taking a look at the latest surface data here. High pressure is in control. 1022 millibar high pressure system. Not much really going on today. Clear skies, comfortable weather conditions, temperatures in the mid to upper 70s along the immediate coast and upper 70s to lower 80s everywhere else. Tranquil conditions can be expected. Perfect conditions for any baseball games out there, like the Yankees game this afternoon. And pretty much, the type of weather that you'd wish you'd see all year round, with not much in the way of activity going on throughout the eastern United States. The radar, as you can expect, is pretty quiet. Not much going on here either. Now, let's take a look at the surface map, or should I say the infrared satellite picture, and you can see there's a disturbance out here around North Carolina. Don't worry, that's going to remain suppressed to the south. High pressure will be in control for today and tomorrow, and that will continue on through Sunday, but the winds will shift to the southwest, so we should see a slight increase in humidity over the next 48 hours. Tomorrow morning could still be rather chilly, with temperatures falling back into the 40s and lower 50s, especially over the northern interior. But with a slight increase in humidity along the coast, we could keep temperatures more in the mid to upper 50s rather than the lower 50s like what we saw this morning. High temperatures for tomorrow will pretty much be in the same ballpark, upper 70s to lower 80s throughout the entire region, with tranquil conditions in place. Now, when we step back in the water vapor satellite loop, you can see this large upper level low over eastern Canada. This is pretty much what's funneling this polar air mass right into the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Notice we have this red here. That means sinking dry air, and that sinking dry air will suppress this disturbance that is trying to move to the northeast, but will be forced to move due east out into the Atlantic with no influence on the northern mid-Atlantic at all. This disturbance will approach the Mississippi River Valley, but weaken and will not be a threat for the area on Saturday nor on Sunday. Now, there's going to be a slight change in the weather pattern, okay? First of all, this disturbance right here could become a tropical depression in the next 48 hours. It's going to move across the Yucatan Peninsula and into the Gulf of Mexico, and could influence or enhance the moisture transport along this cold front. That will eventually become a stationary front. The reason why I bring this up is that basically what we're going to see is the Western Atlantic Ridge and Bermuda High reestablish itself starting on Sunday. And it's going to cause this stationary front to basically back along the eastern United States, or basically along the east coast here. And so the added moisture from this disturbance may train along this stationary front. It's going to be something we're going to have to keep an eye on and see how it interacts with this boundary here moving forward over the next 48 to 66 hours. Now, as this basically stationary front sets up along the east coast, we're going to see more of a south to southwesterly wind take hold at almost all levels of the atmosphere, leading to an increase in humidity starting on Sunday, especially Monday on through next Wednesday. temperatures are going to pretty much rebound to near normal. I mean, we're not talking about a heat wave here, but we're talking about temperatures returning to the mid to upper 80s for highs away from the coast, lower to mid 80s along the coast, with the dew points returning into the 60s and lower 70s. That means our low temperatures will be in the mid 60s to lower 70s by the end of this weekend and into next week, with a threat for a shower or thunderstorm each afternoon because of the more tropical nature of this air mass. Again, I'm not looking for a washout here or anything of that nature, but clearly we're going to see a reestablishment of our western Atlantic ridge and our southwesterly flow. So enjoy this cool polar air mass that's in place right now that's providing excellent weather conditions, comfortable weather conditions, because this upper level low is going to lift north and our western Atlantic ridge will take its place. Meanwhile, in the tropical Atlantic, there's not only this disturbance, but now we have an official tropical storm. Tropical Storm Erin was just upgraded as of 8 a.m., about 58 minutes ago. Now, Erin is going to be an interesting storm to watch. It's currently 65 miles to the west-southwest of the Cape Verde Islands. It's moving to the west-northwest at 16 miles per hour, has 40-mile-per-hour winds, and a pressure of 1,006 millibars. Erin is a tropical storm that is starting to move into an environment that is very favorable for development for now. You have plenty of moist air around, you have very little shear, and you have convection developing around the low-level center, which is right about here. And notice that you're starting to see clouds fan out here, supporting the development of an anticyclone over Erin, which basically allows the heat to rise up from the ocean, from the sea surface, up into the core of the storm and then evacuate out, kind of like an engine. So you need that aspect with tropical low pressure systems, and that's why shear is such a major factor in development. At any rate, you can see Erin starting to develop here, and the forecast going forward is for Erin to move to the west-northwest and eventually west over the central Atlantic. Now, in this area right here, by the time we get into early next week, we still have a lot of dry air in place. I'm not so much concerned about shear weakening Erin, but it's this dry air that is lingering over here that has been suppressing tropical development for much of August. And this dry air that is lingering over the central Atlantic could interact with the development of the storm and either keep it as a weak tropical storm or could potentially cause the tropical storm to completely collapse. So we're going to have to watch to see how that develops and unfolds into next week. And then as we look into the later parts of next week, we could be dealing with Erin approaching the Bahamas. We'll see. There's a lot of time here. No need to jump the gun just yet. But clearly it's a tropical storm that's worth watching and keeping an eye on. Here's the latest model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website. We're using the European model guidance once again because, quite frankly, there really isn't much going on right now. So you use the European, the GFS, the Korean model if you want. It's pretty much going to say the same thing, high pressure and control. So high pressure is in control today, tomorrow, Saturday, and then Sunday we start to see that shift. Notice our western Atlantic ridge starting to take hold. We have a little bit of a weakness along the east coast here. Better potential for a few scattered showers. Not a washout, but an isolated shower or two in the afternoon and evening hours. And then that pattern basically remains in place through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with our western Atlantic ridge and our southwesterly flow coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. So we have increasing humidity throughout the region, a threat for a shower or thunderstorm each afternoon, and of course our temperatures rebounding into the mid to upper 80s for highs away from the coast, lower to mid 80s along the coast, increasing levels of humidity, and overall a return to a more summer-like pattern for the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. And moving forward in time, if you just want to jump ahead, pretty much the same patterns lingering on all the way until next Saturday, with basically the western Atlantic ridge and the Bermuda High remaining in place. So that is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. And of course, follow the latest weather information on Tropical Storm Erin in those locations as well. Have a wonderful day out there. Please stay safe out there, as always. And thank you for visiting NYNJPA Weather.